have been traveling since post-pandemic, and I've been observing that you're reaching out to the people, the grassroots level, different societies. So today you visited some villages in Sundarbans and met some COVID victims as well as some children in the school. What's the objective behind this particular visit?
Thank you first of all for being with us today and spending this important, beautiful, moving, but also very sweaty day with us. We started this program called For a Safe Tomorrow after the second wave of COVID hit India. As we know, it was a dire situation across the world, but of course India was hit hard. But Bengal and this area of Bengal in the Sundarbans was hit especially hard, both by the second wave of the pandemic, but also by the cyclones Amphan and Yas. So what we realized is that there were so many children in this area, which, as you saw today, is very remote, underserved. There were so many children who lost one or both of their parents to either COVID or one of the cyclones. There was, in this particular area, the numbers for child trafficking, child labor, child marriage increased hugely in the in the period of the pandemic. So we felt very strongly that steps needed to be taken urgently to reverse that trend, because children in this area, and this is, as you know, my beloved home state, were especially at risk. So this project that we started, my husband John and I, in partnership with Save the Children, has as its objective safeguarding the lives of the most vulnerable children of Bengal by ensuring them access to nutrition, to education, to protection, to healthcare, and to psychosocial support, because of course these children have gone through the worst trauma that a child can go through. And that is what we have put into place. I was here just at the beginning of when we had completed the campaign. The campaign, I was very moved by how much support we raised for the campaign from across the world, and we ended up raising quite a bit more resources than we had set out, which means that we're actually able to support 100 more kids than we had initially planned. And this trip is all about seeing how that implementation is happening, participating in it, understanding how this project is impacting positively the lives of so many families, lives that have been torn apart by COVID.
You also met people from government representatives in the Panchayat level, and also suggested few suggestions you also have.
Right.
And at the same time, you have been with the partner organization as well as implementing agencies.
Right.
So what is your observation pre-pandemic and post-pandemic? What you can see, how they are performing, what more they can contribute in what way?
They meaning the
Stakeholders.
Yeah, stakeholders. But you know what? The thing is that what I realized today, and it was moving and important in so many different ways to spend the time that I did with the families that I met, because everyone had a unique problem, and yet all of them, all these women who were bereaved, who had lost their husbands to COVID, were really young. They were all under 25. And they had all lost their husbands strangely in October of last year. Now, what became very clear is that you really need to look at each case and look at what the vulnerabilities in each case are. The first case I'll tell you, this was a very young woman called Kavita, whose husband disappeared one day. He was a hawker in the train station. He didn't come home, and she went around with a baby, with a 4-year-old baby, carrying that child. She went around Kolkata showing people the photo of her husband and kept kind of chasing him, like trying to find him, and finally the police told him, yes, he's there, go to Shelda, and she got there, but he was dead.
19 দিন খুঁজে পর লালবাজারে থানায় গিয়েছিলাম, যাওয়ার পরে ওইখানে ছবি দেখিয়েছিল, দেখানোর পরে আমি ওনার মুখটা হচ্ছে ওই ছবি দেখে শনাক্ত করেছিলাম যে এটা আমার বোন। তারপরে শিয়ালদাকে পাঠালো, যে আমি খুব কান্নাকাজি করছিলাম যে ওইভাবে এরকম শুয়ে আছে কেন, বললো আপনার বর বেঁচে আছে, আপনি শিয়ালদায় যান, জিআরপিদের কাছে আছে। সেইখানে জিআরপিদের কাছে এসে আমার ঢুকতে দেয়নি ওইখানে, আমাকে ওইখানেই বললো যে আপনার বর আর নেই।
And his body had been burned. And you can see that in her case, not only is she doesn't have a bread, there is no support. She's now doing the work that her husband used to do, but she also has a young child whom she has to find childcare for. But she has also not been able to have closure, because her husband went home one day and just never came back. And that grief in her case is embedded so deeply in her that she's not able to smile, she's not able to actually feel. You can see that she's still. And when I think we spoke about the supports that she talked, it was great to see how every family talked about how much of a positive difference our project is making to their lives. But I think with her, I just understood, I could see the focus that this project has on the psychosocial support aspect of every family is so important. But her, and then also in this case, when we were talking, as you were there, we were talking about how we can make sure that the support that is supposed to go to a family that is bereaved from COVID, well, one of the conditions is that you have to give a death certificate that says it's COVID, that you have to have a COVID death certificate. This woman didn't even have her husband's dead body, right? How is she going to have a COVID death certificate? How is this going to? So this is one case. Another case, there is a woman who it was really difficult to leave her, because she was somebody who's further along in the process of mourning. She was smiling, she was laughing, and she broke down into tears, and it was really difficult to let her go when I was holding her. I didn't want to, actually. And in her case, she has been rejected by her in-laws because they don't want to worry about having to take care of her kids. And how does she manage that? She's too young to get a widow's pension, so that's a different problem. She's too young to get a widow's pension. She's also too young to get the Kibandar. She's too young for that, because you have to be 25 for that. So that's another issue. What do you do with that, right? So I mean, in each, I think unless the stakeholders work together in cases like this, to determine how to make sure that this family, also not just connectivity where this project is done, but really how this can be a sustainable way of ensuring their security. And really, it's not about who's taking credit for doing what. It's really about working together to determine what each family and each child needs to be able to survive and to be able to thrive.
Looks like a ship of hope in the valley of rivers, right? How you can, means as the organization SSDC or Save the Children, can overcome this challenge?
I think we overcoming a challenge, the challenge being what?
Reaching out to the people exactly where it is needed.
I think Save the Children and also this organization.
So much of violence everywhere.
No, I know, but I think they are extremely good at actually reaching out, at the outreach. I think the program, the program team here, and actually Save the Children has been working with with this organization, Sundarbans Social Development Center, right? So, and this organization has existed for 20 years, but SAVE has been working with it. This organization has been doing really important work for 30 years, and SAVE has been working with it for 20 years. And I think I have to say I'm so impressed by how committed the staff of Save the Children on the ground, how deeply committed everyone is to the villages, how much of a kind of sense of local solidarity there is, and also the partners that we work with on the ground, some of whom you met today, like Shefali and Manushi, who was here. I think they know the children and the families so well, and I think they are the best advocates, and I know that SSTC has been doing really seminal work and starting this eye hospital, and it also does a lot of work against child trafficking, which, as you know, is an area that I have worked in for years. So I feel that but that's not because we are not able to do the outreach that we need. But as I said, there's always more work to be done. There's always a long way to go.
Lastly, what would be your message, particularly to the children, the grassroots level, the video?
It was so much fun to play with them today. I'm just amazed by how resilient these kids are. They've had an incredibly difficult 2 years. But as you saw, we were playing together, we were laughing together, we were swimming like frogs and jumping like, we were swimming like fish and jumping like frogs and flying like birds and swishing our tails like monkeys, and they had so many stories. They had their own games that I participated in, and I would say what I said today, which is go to school, make sure that you take care of your families, make sure that you finish school, go to college, make sure you are safe, make sure that your family is safe. But also, I think that the sense of, and Save the Children is really, this is a big focus for Save the Children, is the kind of strength that you can get from the involvement of young people is so huge. I mean, if there is a lot for us to be worried about in terms of the way, things are, in many, many different aspects of the way, of many crises that we are facing as a nation, I think the one glimmer of hope is the youth. I think the one glimmer of hope is the power of the children. So to be surrounded by all of this energy in this little room and all of those smiling faces, and they've been waiting for hours because it took us so long to finish with the families, and they were so full of joy and hope and excitement that I felt a lot of hope just spending the time with them. So I would want our journey together and the story that we tell each other, all of us tell each other, to be a story of hope.
Thank you so much for this wonderful trip, and also to come forward and help in whatever way possible, since you have been doing this work for such a longer period of time, and this time being so important.
Thank you
Since
so much.
people are settling down right now after this 2 years of pandemic. Thank you.
And I will be back, as each family we visited and all the kids we were playing with later said, you have to come back, and I promised that I'll come back. So I'm sure this will always be, this is a commitment that I've made to this community that is going to be one that stays with me always.
Thank you.
Thank you.